Alrighty guys, we are back with another episode here of Magician Madness on Perky Crew. Last time we did a quick run through, I think it was Crush Bone, nothing just jaw dropping. But today I wanted to do the true test of metal, which is going ahead and going on with the Gauntlet hard mode. So I have not done this solo yet, so we're going to have to see how I do. And I'm not loading up my pet either with, crazy gear. I know that you can do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to run it kind of like a base model, like the Hyundai Sonata of pets here. So what I like to do in these, at least what I've done on the Warrior so far, is I'll hide back over here until the thing spawns. That way I don't get insta hit. I don't know. It probably doesn't do anything, but it makes me feel better. Let's go ahead and refresh the buffs here. Make sure I have all of my mitigation things going on. Make sure I've got my velocity, 45 companion. And we've got the 2.0 buff. We'll save Host in the Shell until later on. The first one is just a cannon fodder. So I've had some pretty good luck with gear here, actually. Mythical Ethereal Silk Leggings of the 3rd rank. This is a huge piece of gear. My Warrior actually got this one, so I drug the mage in here and picked it up. And I got this shield in here too, which is actually a pretty good shield, and it's got Burnout 5 on it. So this also I was dragged in here by the Warrior to pick up. But as you can see, I'm actually still missing shoes and a wristband. Everything else besides this terrible chest piece is actually pretty decent. I've been okay at picking up some additional gear here, but again, I do need, I could definitely replace this. That's not bad. I mean, long story short, there are a lot of things that I could, definitely replace that I could be replacing, that I just haven't had a chance to yet. So this will be the first real test of metal here. Grummus, he's actually a pretty difficult one, and he gives a pretty bad DOT. So let's go ahead and just send the pet in. I'm not going to be doing any kind of crazy burnouts or anything like that. Let's just see how he does. We will go ahead and shoot him up with Host in the Shell. And I would say so far he's bearing pretty well. With a few spot heals here and there. The heals don't really cost me any mana, so I definitely think it's a good idea to go ahead and shoot those out as much as you can. One of the biggest things that I can suggest is just to make sure that your pet is either disengaged or you are spamming heals when it comes down time for them to be enraged. So as of right now, he is enraged. So if my pet attacks, my pet gets pummeled. Okay, no longer enraged. So I try to just back everything off the most I can whenever that time comes, because I have seen almost a full HP pet just get completely decimated at the very last by something that is enraged. $2,999 AAs. As you all know, summoning ferocity is 12 of 12, which is like 8,000 AAs or something like that. So that's pretty much all this guy is set up as. Bard, what in the world? Oh, that must be that new thing. I haven't done the download yet. Bard, I've got the movement speed stuff. Beast Lord, I got a couple of things into Critical Strike and Flurry. And Wizard, I have no idea if I even did anything on Wizard, to be honest with you. I don't use any offensive spells. It's not worth it. I don't know that there's ever going to be a moment whenever there's going to be a caster spell on this server that will be worth casting, to be honest. I mean, the other damage is just so intense that I just don't see it ever being liable, unless they're going to be pumping out some kind of 150k damage spells or something like that that are consistent. I can't see it being something that people are going to be able to really focus on outdoing their pet with, because if I'm blasting it, not only am I within range of its any kind of AoEs pretty much, or any kind of status effects that it's going to give me, I'm also putting myself in a position where I'm not healing. So I don't know, I just don't feel like it's going to be one of those things that whatever. I mean, maybe Wizard later on or something, but as far as the pet classes go, I'm spending all of my time healing, so I don't know that I'm going to be ever in a position where I'm like, hey, I have plenty of time now for some offensive spells. I'm hoping I can get some decent drops out of here on the video. That would be amazing. As of lately, most of the stuff I've gotten, either like right now, like I can't use this, which kind of sucks, but realistically, that's not super good either way for being a hard mode gauntlet drop. That's okay. It's all RNG. You know, you get some bad stuff, you get some great stuff. Ooh, see, I got silenced. I'm in range of the silence, which is actually pretty deadly to me. Since if my pet goes down, I go down shortly after. I think it's starting about this guy though, that you've got to be real careful with the enraged. See, I was far enough away that time to where I didn't get the silence. All right, he is enraged, so let's just see if I can heal through it actually on this guy. You also want to be careful that you don't lose your fortified companion. It's got a 10-minute uptime or something like that, and a 10-minute respawn or recast. So basically, you can have it up all the time. But if it drops, you're going to see an enormous difference in your survivability. So you definitely want to make sure that you don't have that drop. So I've already gotten that. Yeah, it's imperative. Like if this only has like 40 seconds left and there's a boss coming, then you want to just wait. Absolutely wait. So Host in the Shell is basically just a rune. It's got like a 4-minute recast. It's just an AA that gives it like an enchanter style rune. It's really good. If you're not using it, I definitely recommend picking it up. It's an extremely strong spell for survivability of your pet. See, this is another issue that you're going to have sometimes, is you'll get some of these bosses that are going to completely debuff your pet. Well, that is complete ass, because your pet needs those buffs to stay viable in the fight. So as you can see right now, without the defensive buffs, my pet absolutely gets just waylaid in here. So we're going to do my very best to keep the pet up. Thankfully, it didn't debuff my pain tolerance, so there's no way my pet would have survived that. So honestly, I feel like there could be some stuff done for debuffs, because realistically, that is the only way your pet survives. You fight anything with a debuff, and the chances of your pet pulling through on it are pretty slim. But I'm a huge advocate of, you know, pulling in more people if you need help with this kind of stuff. Our guild is not the biggest, but I know that we're constantly doing stuff like this together, which is kind of fun. You know, like obviously the game was designed for more than one person to play. I know the server was kind of built around solo activity, but it definitely doesn't penalize you for going in as a duo or something. So it can be fun. The main guy I'm worried about is Valen and Talon Zek, like the initial ones, not the Plane of Time ones, because those two actually come off swinging pretty hard, and they debuff. So it's just a crappy thing all around. I am going to try my best to send in and just go balls to the wall, frenzied burnout, infused element. I'm going to do everything I can to not die, because I feel like that one is going to be really, really bad. So the main things you want to make sure you have up are Fortified Companion and Pain Tolerance. Those have to be up 110% of the time, or you're going to watch your pet just absolutely crumble. Now, also keep in mind, my pet doesn't have any additional gear on it besides what I can summon. Don't have like a massive amount of gear sitting on it right now. I do know that you're able to put on some serious weapons on them and increase their damage. I am sitting at a plus 270 pet damage, which I know that it can go up to like plus 700 or more, depending on what uber weapon you put on them. So I feel like this is a pretty hard example of what you can go in as just throwing AAs into a character, not pushing the limit, you know, far beyond that, because I don't have, you know, Mythic 3 gear and all that kind of crap going on to it. So we're going to back everything off over here, because if you do that, you don't get all the birds. And you just hope that you don't get rampaged, because I'll probably end up just dying in one hit. That is kind of a severe downfall for this character, is every single thing that I've got AA-wise is pumped into my pet. If an Orc Centurion and an RB3 DZ sneezes at me, my guy falls over and dies. So that's one of the main reasons I got Summon Companion as an AA, is because if my pet falls behind and something attacks me and I can't Summon Companion fast enough, my guy falls over dead. So I got that out of necessity, not because it was necessarily something that I actually wanted to have as far as a character. Like, I just knew that if my pet wasn't right there when I needed it, my guy stands zero chance in surviving. So the good news is that these little guys right here, like the Sorrow Song and the other birds and things like that, they are not leveled up to the RB3 level. I think I have a pretty good mask. Yeah, pretty good mask. I always thought that guy looked cool. Okay, so one cool thing about having a magician pet. So whenever you see things like this drop that has like a 239 rating on it, well, the things that we can summon only have like a 178 or 182 or something like that base damage. So anything that has a higher base damage than that, you want to snag, because you can put it on your pet to increase its total all plus damage. And that is going to be a lot more than you think. It's not going to be an extra 30 damage per swing. It's going to be a lot more. So if you haven't experimented with that, please do. So it'll be fun. You'll like it. You'll like the results. But I wanted to do this, like I said, base model. So this guy is going to spawn in, some different guys, and we're going to need to take them out. Because we don't want to have them just beating on us the whole time. Now, that being said, like I was saying before, you know, putting on the good weapons to your pet, I have lost so many pets just like zoning in to the Nexus or something, you know, like where it just bugs out and my pet disappears or poofs. That really blows whenever you've got like full Mythic 3 gear on a pet and it's like doing really well for you, hitting really hard and all this stuff. And then out of nowhere, for no cause of your own, it just poofs. That's a pretty discouraging feeling. So just don't put anything on your pet ever that you don't want to lose. It's just a pretty good basis to go on, because typically, or at least as of lately, there's a pretty good chance that you're going to end up losing it. So if you've got something just absolutely phenomenal that you want to throw on your pet just to kind of test everything out and see how it does, I say, dude, absolutely do it. If you're throwing an item on there that you're wanting to save for like a certain boss or whatever it may be, don't even think about it. Absolutely not. Save it for that boss and don't waste it just testing it out, because there is a chance that you will never get the opportunity to do it again if you end up putting it on your pet. So both of these things we just got, I could put on my pet, or like a secondary pet. Like if this one dies for some reason to like Valen or Talon, like I think they're going to, then we'll throw those on the second pet and just show like a difference. And it's not even that big of an upgrade, honestly, to the weapons that I've got on there. But you'll get a chance to see what kind of difference that little bit can make, because it's quite a big difference. Do I like my mage more than my warrior? The answer is no. Do I like him less? The answer is also no. I think they're extremely different play styles. The warrior is very up in your face, you know, hoorah kind of stuff, and whereas the mage is, you kind of sit back and you know, you wear out your middle finger on whatever button you have for healing. That's pretty much what the big difference is there. You know, I could always save my host in the shell for when they enrage. I never thought of that. Just kind of see if that negates the enrage for like these 6 or 7 seconds or whatever it may be. I always thought, like, if they put this dude's sword on the EQ marketplace or whatever it was you had to pay money to have as far as like a transmog, this thing, dude, they would make more than they did on their monthly subscriptions, dude. Look at that thing. That sword is the coolest sword of any sword, of all the swords. Alright, any moment now he should be going enraged, and we'll go ahead and do the host in the shell and see what happens. There he is, enraged, host in the shell. Well, honestly, I'd say it did pretty good. A pretty sweeping difference. To be honest, only 1 or 2 heals versus just having to absolutely spam pray it. So I'd say that was a pretty good success right there. Oh, I want that sword so bad. Wouldn't that be awesome? Big old beefy sword. So we're lucking out on pet weapons, that's for sure. I really just want some boots or a robe, so my guy actually looks like a caster instead of some weirdo. Because I'm a high elf, because when I was doing the Magician Epic, there was some Eurodite in Dagnar's Cauldron that would, like, refused to deal with me because I was a dark elf. And so I was like, hey, you know what, I'll go be a gnome then. And I went to be a gnome, switched it up, and they still didn't want to deal with me. And I was like, oh, okay. So I went and turned into a high elf. And finally, they let me finish the epic. Alright, so here's the part that really sucks. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to launch my host of elements at this guy. And then we're going to buff up my main guy. And I'm going to straight send him in. And let's just see if this... And just spam pray heals, because he is going to try to debuff my dude. Not too far away, okay. Well, I will say that this is going better than I thought it was going to go. He didn't debuff... Oh, there's the other one. Okay. Come on. Finish him off. Oh, man, there goes my buffs. Alright, 17%. Okay, so strangely enough, he didn't kill my pet. My pet returned. I think that's because he went and... Okay, so he went and raged and my pet came back. Sometimes it does that, sometimes it doesn't. Always happy when it does. Trying to think of the best route here. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll show you guys how bad my pet fails without the Fortify Companion and the other one on there. So we'll just go ahead and send the good old pet in here. 17%. So as you can see, he's just getting absolutely waylaid. Oh, okay. But yeah, you saw the heal, you know, the damage just pummeling down. So it's very important that you keep those buffs up. Ooh, there's a neck piece. Considering I don't need AC, I guess, I feel like that would be better since it has more active HP. Let's go ahead and put it on. Put that there. Let's not get rid of it just yet. So all in all, I would say that my pet fared pretty well against that guy. To be honest, I was expecting so much worse that coming out of that, I kind of feel like I overhyped it. Now I kind of feel dumb, but we're just gonna buff up as it comes back. Definitely want to wait 18 seconds for our burnout 5. We don't have Fortify up yet. We've got 2 minutes left, 2 minutes and 50 seconds, so basically 3 minutes left on it. But I do have Host in the Shell up, so I'm going to go ahead and whack him with Host in the Shell and see if that'll make up for the fact that he doesn't have the other. See, I need to back up. I don't want to get... No debuffs, please. All right, so my host in the shell is over in the shell. So now it's going to be a heal game. Yeah, that his damage is crazy. Valenczek is tough. Well, at least without all the buffs on. I definitely don't want to end up healing through an enraged either, so I may end up having to back the pet off for that. Yeah, we're going to back the pet off on the enrage. Rampage. Oh, great. Rampage got me. Damn, Rampage got me good. Look at you. See, that comes down to like 14% or something. Weak. Well, everything else should be fairly simple. You know, I'm curious if I put something on my pet that had a slow proc on it, if that would benefit. I don't know if pets can use Augs in their weapons. I have no idea. If not, if they do, I can put Aug in there, but I'm not sure if they can or not. Alright, well, we've got Fortify Companion up here in just a couple of seconds. Summon Hatred's already up. Host in the Shell will be up in 1 minute and 30 seconds. But we're going to go ahead and blast through this one. I think we're going to be just fine. Just make sure to stay out of the way of rampages. If you've never played a magician, which I'm pretty sure most people watching this video have played a magician before, but if you've never played a magician, if you die, your pet insta-poofs. It's not like he comes back with you whenever you respawn or anything like that, if your pet didn't die. If you die at all through a rampage, through, getting ganked by something you didn't see around the corner, whatever it may be, your pet pays the price as well. So it's very important that you stay out of range of stuff. I like to stay out of line of sight, to be honest with you, because I really didn't want to get rampaged on that time. But as you can see, it almost killed me with one rampage. And I have 47,000 HP, so it's not like a lack of trying. I mean, I don't have 80,000 HP or anything like some people, but I mean, I think I've got enough to where you would think that I wouldn't be a paperweight, but unfortunately it's pretty, it's just imperative that you don't get hit, because, dude, the only lifeline you've got in this entire world for this guy is your pet. Especially if you've geared him up, and then all of a sudden one missed rampage or something gets you, and it's just, that would be be a bad deal. Hand of the Gods. Oh, I was hoping it was that one that healed you too. That'd be cool to give a pet one of those with a proc that healed and did damage. I didn't really think about that either. The more you know. But so we're about 34 minutes into this, and we're roughly halfway through. So I would say that I'm not doing this incredibly slow. So this is just it's kind of an endurance thing. Like if you only have a couple of minutes, definitely don't roll into the gauntlet. there is a timing between the stuff. So realistically, if there's like, I think it's 26 things. If there's 26 things and there's a minute in between each one, then you're obviously going to spend half an hour just waiting for stuff to spawn. So, yeah, I would just make sure that you've got plenty of time before you roll in here. For some reason, this guy like consistently drops aggro. He does the same thing on my warrior. My warrior, through multi-quest or macro quest, whatever it's called, he has something set up, and I have no idea how he does it. I'm not good at that stuff, so I have no idea why, but every time he like clears aggro, my warrior shuts off his attack. So I've got to constantly re-engage attack the entire fight for this guy, which is super, super lame. So, just like, I don't know if that's something that's on all macro quests for melees or not. I've only used it on the warrior. But, I mean, it's just something to keep in mind if you've never fought this guy. He does this reset aggro thing that is really, really frustrating. Alright, so he became enraged. Jeez, you can just see the damage on the enrages, like... Okay, let's go. Oh. And I know there's going to be someone in the comments that is going to just like absolutely lose it that I'm not looting this stuff and like re-rolling it. I hate the re-rolling thing. I'm just not going to do it. I think it's cool that he added it for people that were complaining that they don't get what they want. I don't want to sit there and add things and then re-roll and add things and re-roll. I just don't want to do it. I'd rather just wait till I get the drop that I want later naturally. I'm not ultra bothered by it. Kind of want to get a mount. I don't think you can mount in here anyways, but I do think I want to get a mount. Because you actually can use one on like a caster, which is kind of cool. There's no real point for me to have one on the warrior. I can kind of see the benefit of it on a caster though. I forgot to mention, I do have legendary all of this stuff. So legendary Muzzle of Mardu spell, legendary Summon Phantom Plate spell, and legendary Summon Spectral Armament spell. So in full disclosure, when I said base model, I guess realistically it's not necessarily base model. These are better summon gear than you're going to start off with. However, you can typically find them fairly affordable. Let's just do Mardu. Yeah, legendary summoned Mardu is 100 PP right now. Spectral. Alright, so that one is not on here yet. But for a couple hundred PP, you can just, you can buy that stuff. Let's go ahead and look up the Phantom Blade too while we're just sitting here. I don't see legendary, but I see rare and an epic. I mean, it's like 2 PP, 5 PP, 100 PP. So I'm fairly certain that whoever's selling this stuff for 200 PP a piece is a clown. That's so funny. If it's you, you're not really a clown. It's just funny to me. Like the whole ass spell is like 100 PP, and people are selling it for 200 a piece. Alright, so we're gonna have to make sure that if this guy's not dead, then Fortify Companion needs to be put back on in 1 minute. Elsa, enough! Sorry, my dog is eating my cat. So I wasn't thinking I was going to have to, but I may actually have to take a meditation break here. I have not had to take a med break since I started the maze. So I'm guessing that the hard mode gauntlet is more difficult than anything else I've done because I'm actually going to have to meditate. By the way, I thought I just died because my, I guess, screen went into like first person or whatever. And I thought that was the end of it for me. Oh, I already have that. Great. Okay. Only downfall is it's like 4 minutes to get rested mode. So while we wait for that, I will be right back. All right, we're back. 100% mana. Let's get rebuffed. Time for the cheeky squid. start tossing this stuff on the pet at least and just throwing it out. Someone said that under Archetype, they were able to get an AA that increased their healing capacity. I don't know. Maybe as a Beast Lord? I'll tell you what, I sure didn't find anything. I looked. Because that's something that I probably would have actually done with a little bit less like pet crit stuff and went ahead and went with that, because I feel like the healing is like one of the most important things. There's quite a few of these Wrath Councilmen that spawn. I think they're just filler. But, I mean, they're not difficult at all. But I actually really like them because super easy kills and they still drop cool stuff. Really? You already have it. That sucks, because that's cool, but that's okay. We'll do another video where I just completely deck the pet out and do this and just see what the big differences are. Sometimes, you know, I sit back and I'm like, man, this server is literally at its infancy and it already has so much content that it has kept me like 100% engaged for months now. And it just blows my mind. Typically, if I go, you know, hardcore into anything, I'm done with it in a couple of weeks. You know, I just feel like there's nothing left to really accomplish or do, unless it's one of those games where it time locks you, you know. And even then, usually within a couple of weeks, if you're hardcore, you know, just pumping whatever you're doing, you can get best in slot and most stuff, and etc, etc. This thing has kept me busy doing stuff for a couple of months now. I've only really got 3 characters. I've got the warrior, obviously, I've got the berserker, and then of course now I've got the magician. So I haven't even branched out into trying out other things that I find, you know, that I might like or whatever it may be. See, it's weird how sometimes my pet will disengage on enrage and then sometimes it just will not. But I really don't like it whenever the pet drags things right next to me so they can, you know, rampage kill me in one hit. Shoulder. Ooh, I got good shoulder. so we'll throw that on the pet too. I don't know if any of this makes any difference, to be honest with you, on the pet, but... So that was Gauntlet Challenger number 19. I don't remember if there's like 23 or 26. I don't remember. Arms, ways to feet. Focus effect is Blaze of the Scarecrow. Oh, okay, gives me more damage. Got it. Redo Fortify Companion. Engage. Now these should be the actual Plane of Time bosses, not just the Plains bosses, the actual Plane of Time zone bosses. See little worms that were just like floating around me? That's so gross, like little maggots. Heyo. This one I'm gonna have to look at and make sure. Looks like it could be a bit better. Alright, so we got 84 AC, which is way lower. Half, actually. We've got a couple more 100 HP. 3 more. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say no. I'm gonna keep what I got. Shame. Alright, let's see if this guy debuffs the same as the other guy does. Doesn't appear to. Which is strange, because that would mean that the Plane of Time version is actually going to be easier than the just Planes version and Plane of Tactics or War or whatever. And I have not had to use any of my boosts yet, like Frenzied Burnout, Infused Elements, Host of Elements, any of that. I have been using Host in the Shell quite regularly, but as far as the heavy hitters, the big deeps, you know, all that kind of stuff, I haven't really been using it. So this could go a little bit faster. These don't really increase any of my longevity as far as my pet surviving. So yes, the fights take a little bit longer without them. To me, I'm not that big of a deal. I'm not in a rush. Now, if I was like within 5 or 10% of killing something, if I came back the second time, I would just, you know, I'd definitely, you know, I'd push for sure, because I'd want to see if it was just that got me. Was it just a lack of DPS is the reason I died, or? That was 320 damage. You know, you run into a lot of like the Druid or Enchanter or something like that doesn't do melee damage. For some reason, I guess the game thought it would be hilarious to add enormous amounts of melee damage to their weapons. I guess it would just be a useless, you know, thing, but it made the weapon look better. But we can actually utilize that, because I'll throw this thing on my pet and it'll automatically get that 320 damage, 25 delay. So that would be a really, really nice weapon for the pet to have alongside something else that would boost it up tremendously from where it is now. So, and again, we'll do a secondary video with that on there to show the big differences and just to show what the pet is like, you know, with the additional. Valinzek, big ass sword. Here, let's do an Infused Elements and just see. I mean, yeah, he's dying. That's for sure. We slapped him into enraged pretty quick, but now he's clapping back pretty hard. There we go. I was like, dude, he's coming back pretty good. Well, infused element. Obviously, it's tremendously good. Ooh. Ah. I thought I was gonna get shoes finally. Oh my gosh, I just got like super excited for no reason. I totally thought I was gonna get shoes right there. I only need shoes, one wrist, and preferably a robe of some sort to like really make me feel like this character is at least on par. And then I need to obviously go through and just get Augs for, you know, all this stuff to finish off. But dude, it really sucks being this late in the gig here and not even have a couple of pieces that you need. And this thing just sucks a fart, dude. I hate this. I hate that right there. I don't want to wear a cloth chest piece on my caster. Oh gosh, it's already corn. Alright, well, we'll just do a frenzied burnout then. Wait. I forgot that infused takes away my burnout. So you can use burnout 5 and frenzied on top of each other. So I'll do burnout 5 frenzied, and then when he pops out, I'll do the host of elements as well. And we'll see if we can't do a healless Corm. Go, little pets. Pew pew pew. Frenzied burnout didn't stick for some reason. Yeah, I'm not gonna risk doing a heal list just because if the pet does die, regardless, if this dude's at 1% and the pet dies, I'm dead. So we'll just go ahead. I mean, he's gonna die. He'll die, that's fine. I think Corm looks so cool. Something straight out of like a Godzilla film, you know? It's really cool looking. I love how like they're like all the different elements and stuff. And we've got one more fight after this. It is, hey, that's actually pretty good. 89255555. Okay. We want to keep this because this is what gets our servitor of scale. But I'm gonna take this and see if it's something that I can upgrade the little bone here with. So there should be one more. So that means that there's 26. But this one's just going to be the Earth guy, I believe. Just the Earth guy. But all in all, that is basically a magician running through Gauntlet hard mode, you know? So, I mean, there's nothing super awe-inspiring about it, to be honest. I mean, it's just keep your guy healed. Make sure to keep your actual caster distance where it needs to be. Use host in the shell when you can, especially, you know, when it's going to benefit you the best, like during enrages and things like that. Make sure your fortify companion, your summoned hatred, and all of your buffs are up at all times, but the two most important ones are going to be summoned hatred and fortify companion, and of course burnout. If you don't have the burnout item, you need to get one. You can probably typically find them on the bazaar, I would think. lower ones, you know, but it doesn't matter what quality it is. You just want it for the Burnout 5. You don't even have to use it. Just have it in your bag for Burnout 5. Other than that, though, that is the basic part of it. The hardest part about Magician is realizing that Magician is going to blow until you're RB3 with all 3,000 AAs, because without them all, your guy doesn't stand up. It's not something that you can do without all the AAs. You're not going to be where you need to be a true magician. That's just where it is. It's not that big of a deal. Just take the time to go get your magician stuff. You do have to level up the epic, because it does matter. The buff he gets does matter. And you have to find the legendary spells. But other than that, I would say that it's absolutely a relevant class. A lot of people are saying that, you know, that the pet classes suck or whatever. I absolutely don't think so at all. So once again, big shout out to Aish for putting in the time and helping out the casters, helping out the pet classes, because they can absolutely clear the content. And hope you guys like this, and if you haven't already, please subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.